Hi, my name is Jane. I graduated from Miami in 2008, and I am living in Dublin, Ireland. I moved here to open a restaurant. I chose to go to Miami because I wanted to be at the best school I could be at in relative close proximity to where I grew up. I needed to be close to home at the time for some family reasons, and Miami was a no-brainer. I loved my time at Miami. There were lots of things that made it really memorable. I would say one of the most special things to me is at the end, I think at the beginning of my junior year, I got a job at Bagel and Deli, and that was kind of probably the beginning of my love of working in culinary environments, if you will. The people were fantastic. I learned so much about life and how to deal with people and how to deal with the masses at 2 a.m. and Gary and Ned and their partners Bonnie and Kelly were just such a big part of my life and the other staff that worked there that it made Oxford a place that will always feel like home in a lot of ways. So that was special for me. Also just having some really incredible professors at Miami. The talent there was unbelievable, and the professors were just so encouraging in ways outside of academics that really kind of stayed with me after I left. And then I would say the other thing that was formative to my experience was I worked at the kind of alt-weekly paper called The Amusement. I don't know if it's still around. And one of the people I met there, Lindsay, was the reason I ended up moving to New York after school, which was the start of a very exciting and fun career in media in New York that probably wouldn't have happened if I hadn't had an apartment to move into at the end of my college career. So having met her at the Amusement and the time that we spent there and the people that worked there, it was just such a fun experience and unique to Miami that was something they offered. So I really appreciated all the kind of extracurriculars to choose from. So anyone who's lived in New York and really anyone in the working world knows you grind so hard, you work so hard, and I just realized I really wanted to work for myself. If I was going to be working that hard, I wanted it to kind of be for myself at the end of the day. So my husband, who's been a chef his whole career, I convinced him to hire me and to open a restaurant together. And a good friend of ours from New York had moved back to Ireland and had approached us about opening a restaurant together, and it just was the right time and the right place. Logistically, we were able to make it work. So I kind of hung up my New York City media career hat, and we decided to make the move and haven't looked back. So we opened Delir Street in December of 2022. The concept is a fine dining 13-course surprise tasting menu, although we tell people it is fancy but fun. So a lot of people can have preconceptions about tasting menus and fine dining, but both Jimmy and myself are people who just want to have a good time, and so the restaurant really is about just enjoying yourself, eating good food, drinking good wine, having the crack, as they say over here. So that's, for anyone who feels like fine dining or tasting menus aren't for them, just know that it's so much more than that, and if you come in, we're just here to have a good time. So one of the things I love the most about Dublin, and it felt honestly a lot like coming from New York, which was great for us, was this is such an international city. And our third partner, Anto, he is a Dublin native, but Jimmy, my husband, is Australian, half Scottish. I'm American, and the majority of our staff are from all around the world. We have Brazilians, people from Venezuela, Japan, Greece, Poland, and I think that's kind of what makes the environment at Delir Street so unique, is that everybody's so different and has something to offer, and that has really meant a lot to us, and is also very helpful in welcoming guests from all over the world, because no matter what language you speak, no matter where you come from, there's usually someone on staff that can manage to find a connection and kind of make you feel at home. So we really love that. So a lot of people ask if we intended to get a Michelin Star when we opened, and it's kind of a tough question because it's very much out of your control. My husband Jimmy has spent 20 years of his cooking career in Michelin starred kitchens, so he knows the drill, he kind of knows what it takes, And we'd be lying if we didn't say that that was always a dream, especially for him. He's put so many hours of backbreaking work, into making other kitchens, these incredible Michelin Star experiences. And I think for him, he definitely was looking forward to hopefully doing that at a place of his own. And then we got the invitation to the awards, but we couldn't tell anybody. So there was this 2-week window where we'd been invited to this award ceremony, and we're kind of hoping for the best, but we didn't really know yet. So that was such a special moment for the restaurant, just because this team has just put so much into it from day one, and to see it pay off after such a short amount of time was an incredible feeling, especially for Jimmy, who has spent his whole life working towards this. And then we went to Manchester for the awards, and to be among some of the greatest chefs and restaurateurs in the UK was an incredible feeling, and so humbling, and to be there with other Irish restaurants and the community that welcomed us from day one, and to see them honored as well was awesome. And then obviously getting that red plaque and hanging it on the wall was just such a special feeling. And there's still times where I'm like, pinch me, I can't believe it's real. It's just been a whirlwind ever since, in the best way possible. Obviously my business partner is also my life partner, my husband Jimmy. And one thing that I've really enjoyed is getting to show him the Miami experience and take him to Oxford. Obviously we had to take him to Bagel and Deli to have a couple sandwiches and all that, but also to go back to campus and to visit the house that I lived in, Bismarck, to explain the whole naming tradition, and kind of show him this place where I had such a formative experience, and so many of the friends that he's met now and that are a part of our lives, to kind of see the places that we bonded and made all these friendships, and where I had a radio show and all this stuff. It's just, Oxford is such a special place to be able to take someone back and share those memories. So that's been, especially as an Australian and someone who went to culinary school as opposed to a traditional college experience, kind of getting to show him that experience has been really fun. Yeah, so if you want to come to the restaurant, which we would love to have you, I would say the best way is just to shoot us an email and let us know. You can certainly book through the reservations widget on our website, delierstreetrestaurant.com, but shoot us an email, let us know you're coming. It's always nice to have a heads up, especially when it's a Miami alum, which are, family at this point. And I would say my pro tip is to come early in your visit to Dublin or Ireland if this is your first time here, because the staff are great at giving recommendations for other restaurants, places to go, things to do. So come early in your visit, skip breakfast, and kick off your trip with a glass of champagne, and then we'll send you on your way.